Hey there and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a houseplant chore video. I'm going to walk you through what I do daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly, so make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can see more videos like this. The only thing that I really do daily for my plants is make sure that my grow lights are on and my windows are open. I use Barina grow lights for all the lights underneath my shelving units in my bedroom and in my office. And then I utilize the Govee smart Wi-Fi plugs. They're awesome. I have had them in several areas of my house for different purposes, including our Christmas tree. I have the lights programmed to turn on at 8:30 a.m. every day and turn off at 8:30 p.m. every night. One thing I do weekly or at least every 5 days is fill my humidifier. This is also by Govee. Another thing that I do weekly is just go through and prune my plants, whether that's cutting back leaves or just making sure that they need to be watered. I just check them all and make sure that they're doing well. I check on my propagations, see if they need to be watered or maybe changed out if they've grown too much. These propagations right here are actually Monstera esqueletos that I've grown from stick cuttings. Then I have a Mandula pothos that I just love, so maybe I'll just walk you through my plants. This is a Ficus shiveriana, and I really love this plant actually. It's sat here for quite some time. This is a philodendron ghost. It's done really well. It is pushing out a lot of white leaves though. This is a Hoya pubicalix, I believe, and I got this from a friend whose grandmother had it for years. And this is my philodendron Rio, and you can see here, it's not got a lot of great variegation. It has one little patch, but this is my lovely pink princess, pinkless princess is what I call it. It's done terrible. I need to do something about that. Variegated string of hearts. And then monthly, I just clean off all of my shelves. So I take everything down, wipe it down, and then it gives me a chance to really look at my plants as well. I do this for my office also, and really any plant space that I have. This is a terrarium I did a couple of years ago and put my string of turtles propagation in it, and it's completely overtaken it. This is my beautiful Queen Anthurium, and I've just been watching it because it's been temperamental, which is a normal thing that I've heard about them, but I've been watching it closely. The new leaf looks great, but the two old leaves are definitely deteriorating, and so I'm trying to figure out what to do about that. But that's pretty much it. This is also my beautiful Marantis silver band that I love so much, and I did not have a space for it, and now I finally do. I ended up clearing the bottom of my shelf because a lot of plants that I didn't like this radiatum, got there, and so I just decided we're cleaning it up. Then this is the top of my fridge. I have this little shelving unit on the side that I created just to hang some of my propagations and just a few plants on top because, you know, I'm always needing more space. But I just go through monthly and check that they're doing well, if they need to be watered, etc. So this is it, and that was pretty much my houseplant chores that I do. So that's typically what I do every day, every month, and every week for my plants. And then along with that, every month I'm usually propagating. I am usually propagating something. So I was cleaning off my shelving unit, you saw that. And this pink princess, or lack of, really is just like a burgundy back to reverted. And so I'm just going to chop it all the way back because I am just tired of looking at this. It's terrible. It came off of my mother plant. I did grow this from like cuttings of its own. So it has come a long way in that sense. And there are two plants, it's just not doing it for me. If there was one plant I would never purchase again, it's going to be a pink princess, white knight, something along those lines. So I'm going to just chop this back because there's so many just points down here at the base that they have no foliage there. And so it's pointless. The one thing I will tell you when cutting pink princesses, if you're propagating them and you have never before, it does have sap or it leaks pink. And so doing this, be very careful to not get it on anything, not get it on yourself because it will stain. So I'm just going here and I'm just, as you can see here, there's an active node, which I'm not even going to be able to zoom in on. There's an active node down here, and I can see it because it's bulging out a little bit. And so I'm going to chop it all the way back to that and let it activate itself and see if it grows. It actually does have a strip of variegation running through that. And so maybe if I chop it all the way back there, the variegation will come back. But everything else, like it's just a solid burgundy stick. So I'm just chopping all the way back here and watching my scissors. So I've chopped it all the way back. But I don't think you can see, it's not as leaky as some of the other ones, but I'll probably chop this up all of it. Again, not much going on for variegation. I mean, truly, it's just a burgundy stem and it does not have any pink running through it. So I have low expectations that will ever push out pink again. Call it a day with that one. I'll put it back under my grow lights. Yeah, I might take it out of this because I do like this pot. I like this clear pot. It's really pretty. And at one time when I was taking care of it properly, oh, it's got some new growth in there. That's really fascinating. I wonder if I can zoom in on that. Got new foliage. Anyways, one time when I was taking care of it, you could see the pink roots and you can see like slightly red roots here, but it was pretty and now it's not. Another monthly thing that I do is repot. I just look at the plants that need to be repotted and just do that kind of in a bulk setting. That way I can just get it all done with. I don't really have many plants that need to be repotted right now. I feel like I spent a lot of November and December potting plants up and taking care of that because I was doing a show. But I do have my philodendron mammii, which I cut back several months ago now, and it's a crawler. So I've decided it's a crawler. I say that because I did another video where I talked about this a bit more, but I've seen people grow this on poles and I've seen people grow it in a crawling setting. And so I'm just doing the crawling setting because it's not adhering to a moss pole the way that my other plants do. It did in some areas slightly, but just nothing major. And so I actually cut it back as well because it again started pushing out these really big leaves, which was great. And then the leaves kind of started to size down. And I think that's because I wasn't giving it the setting that it wanted. It didn't want to climb. It wanted to crawl. And so I'm just going to be transferring it into these pots here. So I already have my philodendron gloriosum in one, and it's doing really well. These are from Target for $8. So they have them in their spring section. They do have a tray on the bottom that you can clip on and off for watering purposes. But I just really like this. This is the only pot that I've been able to find that isn't heavy. So they do have ceramic and terracotta long pots like this. I really love them because I like terracotta, but they're extremely heavy and very expensive. So $8, this is a really good deal. But I'm just going to be transferring this plant directly into here, keeping the same soil and everything. So let's see if I can do this without a giant mess. I'm using my soil mix, which is the Good Soil mix that I have on my Etsy shop. I am going to put all of this soil that's in the plant in here, and it is growing at the bottom. Roots are growing at the bottom. I didn't even realize that. So we'll see how well this is rooted. Oh my. I've had to repot this guy probably twice. Yeah, twice, because I actually got it as a 4-inch plant. And it was so tiny and so cute. It didn't have any of like this look to it. So it's really grown, but look at those roots. They look really nice and really healthy. I make sure to like pay extra care to this plant. It does not love to dry out. So I will tell you, most philodendron that I have, I let them dry all the way out. This is one that I don't do that with because it just starts to get brown leaves and like tips and becomes really unhappy. I need to scoot this back further. I scoot it as back far as I can, but this one's root system is really, really well bound or grown. So hold on. And it was growing like this too, if you see it, and it's like all to one side. It's because there was a moss pole in it, and I just recently took it out. And so they were all growing around that moss pole, basically. So that's why it has this like perfect hole right here in the center. I'm going to do, no, I can't do that. Oh my gosh, I don't want to break the roots. So in a crawler, so this is the new growth point right here, it's going to come out and keep coming out. And so I need to make sure that it's facing the right direction so that it's not going backwards and like having nowhere to grow. Because if I put it like this, it's going to run out of room fairly quickly because it's in the middle of the pot. I really want it to be here. So maybe I'm just going to do this. I'm going to put all the roots here. Yeah. And then we'll just do that because otherwise I'm going to have to chop it back, and I really don't want to chop it all the way back. They propagated really easily, so I did propagate mine, and it's growing really well in my my cabinet or my greenhouse. So I've got it in there like that, and then I'm just going to backfill it. So many more roots than I was expecting. Now the question is, where am I going to set this? So this sat in my southwest facing window in our bedroom on top of our little shelving unit, but I have no idea where I'm going to set this now that it's in a crawler pot. So we'll see about that. Push it down, force it down. You can pin this, like put something to hold it down, but usually it kind of just weighs itself down and sits, and then the roots find its way into the soil. So my philodendron gloriosum has totally attached itself and is doing really well. But I will water that and settle it all in, and I might add something because it's still pretty floppy because the leaves are so large. But that is my Mammy Eye philodendron. So beautiful guy. We'll see how it does in this long pot. Now, the last thing that I do for my plants is kind of on a yearly basis, to be honest, and that's to deal with pests. For instance, I have a plant right now. It is my Syngonium frost. Okay, so this guy, the Syngonium frost here. So I don't know. Usually I have to deal with pests once a year, and that has been thrips last year. And so what I do is I treat with Jack's Dead Bug Brew, and I will just do that several times over. And then I will do all the plants in the area that it was in. And that usually takes care of it. This year, we're already starting with this guy. So something started happening to him actually last year. I got it, and I just am not sure what it was. And I'm still not positive what it is. I have looked for spider mites. Now, I have not sprayed for spider mites. I did find a slug on it the other day, and I thought that was interesting, but there's something happening right now. So the leaves, they are browning and going away, but it's just a different type of browning. It's like the leaves are being sucked out, the color, which is usually a thrips or spider mite or mealybugs or scale, but I don't see any of that on this plant, again, unless it is the slug that we found the other day. I honestly have no idea what's happening with it. And so it's only this one little leaf left. I have other cuttings of it. So again, when I was experiencing the pest problem last year with it, I chopped it all the way back and I propagated it, and they've actually successfully propagated. I don't know if I should just throw this plant away, which is kind of what I want to do, since this is the one that's been continuously having the issues. I just don't love to treat pests. I mean, it's fine. You can totally do that if you have a plant that is really, special to you. And I did it last year through the thrips, like on my escaleto and my melanochrysum, and I did all of that. But I feel like this one is what's causing the issue. My other propagations haven't had any signs of pest issues yet, or hopefully ever. But I just feel like this plant is continuously the problem. And to me, it would just be better off just to throw it away and call it a done deal. So that's a yearly thing that I go through. Is probably every year a pest of some sort comes its way and I have to take care of it. Again, last year it was thrips. Mainly it's just thrips. So I do that by Jack's Dead Bug Brew, and it proves true like every time. It gets rid of the bugs. And so I don't know, that's just a throw in that's a yearly habit that I have to do, is treat them for some sort of pest issue. So that's kind of what I do with my plants. So weekly, monthly, yearly, and really I don't do anything daily with them. I just make sure that the lights are on, the humidifiers going. Otherwise, they kind of just sit there and grow. And I look at them every week probably to see what's happening. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you do for your plants, whether it's weekly or daily. I know some people water daily. We should stop that. But let me know in the comments what you do for your plants and what chore you enjoy the most, because I do enjoy propagating, and that's probably why I have so many dang plants. But it's the most fun to me because they'll grow back and you can create more. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time.